You raised a number of important and complicated questions, and I think maybe the one that's likely to be most...
It is therefore incumbent upon politicians and thought leaders to ask whether the Refugee Convention and the way it has come to be interpreted through our courts is fit for our modern age or in need of reform. I think most members of the public would recognise those fleeing a real risk of death, torture, oppression or violence as being in need of protection. However, as case law has developed, what we have seen in practice is an interpretive shift away from persecution in favour of something more akin to a definition of discrimination. Let me be clear, there are vast swathes of the world where it is extremely difficult to be gay or to be a woman. Where individuals are being persecuted, it is right that we offer sanctuary. But we will not be able to sustain an asylum system if, in effect, simply being gay or a woman or fearful of discrimination in your country of origin is sufficient to qualify for protection. Seeking asylum and seeking better economic prospects are not the same thing. Seeking refuge in the first safe country you reach or shopping around for your preferred destination are not the same thing. Being trafficked, i.e. transported against your will, perhaps to be sold into sex slavery, and being smuggled, i.e. asking someone to sneak you into a country, are not the same thing. The extent to which the global asylum framework enables the obscuring of these categories creates huge incentives for illegal migration. The status quo, where people are able to travel through multiple safe countries and even reside in safe countries for years while they pick and choose their preferred destination to claim asylum, is absurd and unsustainable. Nobody entering the UK by boat from France is fleeing imminent peril. None of them have good cause for illegal entry. The vast majority have passed through multiple other safe countries and in some instances have resided in safe countries for several years. There is a strong argument that they should cease to be treated as refugees during their onward movement. And while we may have different views as to the solutions, I hope we can at least agree on one thing, that we are living in a new world bound by outdated legal models. It's time that we acknowledge that.
The question of national sovereignty on the one hand, and the actual specific content and substance of the treaty commitments. You may know the United States was not an original signatory of the UN Convention.
Nor does it mean you're anti-immigration. I am the child of immigrants. And it's no betrayal of my parents.